I was estranged from my partner for approximately a year and a half. She had formed a relationship with a man who was, in fact, married to her best friend from high school. It is difficult to comprehend the nature of the friendship that she fostered. We were married for 20 years and I had always assumed that we had 2 children together. However, I recently discovered that my 6-year-old daughter is not biologically mine. My former partner was aware of this from the beginning of her pregnancy, yet she concealed it from me. I am determined to fight for custody of my daughter because I have been her father, and the document attesting to this fact carries legal weight. The biological father of my older daughter is not me, but rather the man with whom she left me. She was aware of this from the outset of her pregnancy and chose to keep it a secret from me, despite the fact that my name is on the birth certificate. I am therefore determined to fight for custody on the grounds that I have been her father and that document carries legal weight. While she may not share my blood, she is still my daughter. It is evident that this affair has been ongoing for some time, as evidenced by the discovery of the evidence. I was profoundly shocked when I confronted her and asked her to choose between him and me. She chose him, and the reason she gave me was that he can have closeness multiple times without needing a break. I am at a loss as to how she could have done this. After working 2 jobs to support her education and sacrificing my own dreams and music career, I am unable to comprehend how she could have been unfaithful to me while I took care of our children. I dedicated my life to our family, but she has always been aloof and distant. A woman with bipolar disorder has presented a significant challenge. Her explosive outbursts and the physical and emotional abuse I endured have had a profoundly negative impact on my well-being. However, I had assumed that her condition was the root cause of her behavior. It has since become apparent that this was not the case. She has admitted to friends that she would often punch me without any apparent provocation or justification. My children have also been subjected to her violent outbursts. I have observed on numerous occasions that she has been physically and verbally abusive towards me. On each occasion, I have chosen not to retaliate, as I did not wish my children to witness such brutality. However, towards the end of our marriage, she became increasingly angry with me for not taking out the trash as soon as I arrived home. She then proceeded to grab me by the neck and squeeze tightly, while my son watched in horror. I had to inform her that our son would. It is important to note that this was the point at which she finally released me from her grasp. In retrospect, it is evident that I should have departed from the relationship at an earlier stage. However, the prospect of my children growing up in a broken home was a significant factor in my decision to remain in the marriage. I held on to the hope that my wife would return to the person I once loved, but I have come to realize that those days are long gone. For years, when all the facts came to light, my wife had a conversation with a friend who happened to be the husband she was having an affair with. She told her friend outright that she was not sorry and then simply got up and walked away. It was her friend who informed me of this. My wife left, took the children and moved into an apartment with him. The apartment in question was situated in close proximity to the one we had previously shared. Even at that early stage, I clung to the hope that she would come to realize that he was not a suitable partner. He had been unfaithful to his own wife on numerous occasions, not just with my wife. She was aware of this. I spent the entirety of the first year waiting for her to return. She retained the keys to our shared apartment, and I assumed that she still held on to them because she intended to do so. Upon my return, however, at the conclusion of that year, they commenced their mistreatment anew. He would arrive at the bus stop as I was placing the children on the bus for their schooling and declare, "I have come to see my daughter off to school, not yours, mine." I responded that I was perplexed as to why he had been so accommodating for the previous 5 years, allowing me to raise her, giving her my surname, and being present for her birth and raising her as if she were my own. One might inquire as to the rationale behind the decision to list me as the father on the birth certificate instead of her biological father. This seemingly innocuous detail nearly resulted in a physical altercation. It did, however, ultimately lead to both of them drunkenly visiting me at the end of the night, as he appeared to be seeking a confrontation. My ex-partner's decision to make everything public was a pivotal moment. She proceeded to post about it on Facebook. Furthermore, she boasted about her new boyfriend. Our friends were shocked and reached out to me and his wife about it. I made sure to collect as many screenshots as possible. It seems like she is unconcerned about the potential consequences of her actions in the context of our upcoming divorce. However, I am unsure why she should be. I had already discovered her infidelity, namely her involvement with another man, through the paternity test. As a result, I was perplexed by her destructive behavior. I questioned whether I could have handled the situation differently or better. She held me responsible for her difficulties, but I was working 2 jobs just to make ends meet. I lacked the energy to clean when I got home because I was exhausted from working 16-hour shifts. Nevertheless, she would berate me about the trash while our children were. She was responsible for drawing on the walls, destroying blinds and making holes in the wall under her watch. However, it was the failure to take out the trash that constituted the most significant issue. The most challenging aspect was the overwhelming desire to regain my family. I began to blame myself for every situation. It took some time to fully comprehend the reality of the situation. My brother's insistence that I join his band was a pivotal moment. Despite my initial refusal, he encouraged me to interact with the other members and subsequently made a proposal that significantly altered my outlook. While I ultimately declined the opportunity to join the band, I cultivated a friendship with them and eventually began a casual relationship with a woman who was introduced to me by the rhythm guitarist. I rapidly developed a strong attachment to this remarkable woman, who was 45 years of age. It was a source of considerable relief to be in a loving relationship where there were no constant arguments or instances of offense. My former partner still had the keys to our apartment and would occasionally enter the premises to drop off items for the children. The first occasion on which she discovered my new girlfriend in the apartment was not a positive experience. She telephoned me that night to demand to know the identity of my girlfriend. I informed my ex-partner that my girlfriend was not her concern. After all, it was I who had initiated the relationship and subsequently ended it. However, in recent months, my ex-partner has exhibited erratic behavior, particularly in relation to my new girlfriend. She has even resorted to stalking both my ex-partner and my girlfriend. My ex-partner requested that my girlfriend accept a request on Facebook, but she refused. My ex then called me and demanded that I make my girlfriend accept a request, stating that she wanted to see what kind of person my girlfriend was and who our children were around. My girlfriend took the phone from me and firmly told her that she did not need to add her as a friend and that any communication should be done through other means. With regard to the children, communication could be conducted via messenger or telephone calls. My former partner would not and did not seek to gain access to our personal lives, friends and family, given that she was not part of my girlfriend's inner circle. This did not meet with my former partner's approval. Subsequently, my girlfriend demonstrated that she had received a considerable number of friend requests from individuals who had been friends with my former partner. Subsequently, my ex-partner began to visit my residence on a weekly basis, despite my absence. During these visits, I was engaged in telephone conversation with my girlfriend, who was staying with me while I was at work. My ex-partner then entered the room, at which point my girlfriend inquired as to whether she required any assistance. My ex-partner stated that she wished to ascertain the quantity of milk that I had in my refrigerator, which she intended to use when the children came to visit. My girlfriend assured her that we had sufficient milk. The apartment was covered, and my ex departed when I arrived home. I demanded the apartment key from her, given that she no longer lived there. In response, she took my son's keys and made copies for herself. When my lease ended, my girlfriend suggested that I move in with her to create distance from my ex. However, my ex did everything she could to make it difficult for us. She called that the police were contacted and informed that I was removing my ex-partner's belongings from the property. However, when asked to specify which items belonged to her in my residence, the ex-partner was unable to provide any details. Currently, the children are permitted to spend every other weekend with me, but they have informed me that they are not allowed to discuss their activities with me because their mother does not wish to hear about them. This rule was short-lived, however, as the ex-partner has since begun to interrogate my children. To obtain as much information as possible, it seems likely that her motivation is jealousy. My partner and I live in a beachside location, and our children often visit the local boardwalk, where they enjoy rides, play on the beach, or visit the aquarium. However, if they bring home any prizes, my former partner disposes of them. Recently, there have been issues when she drops off the children. It has been observed that the children have begun to dress and look very similar to my girlfriend. In fact, she has even cut her hair to match hers. Regardless of the activities in which we engage with the children, my ex attempts to emulate our behavior. For example, if we visit the beach, she takes the children to the beach. Similarly, if we go to the zoo, she takes them to the zoo. Furthermore, if she discovers what we have eaten for dinner, she also insists on preparing the same meal and requests that our children compare and indicate which one they prefer. Last week, my son requested to live with us, citing my ex's erratic behavior as the reason. I intend to present all of these instances in court, as I believe they are relevant to the case. To my surprise, the other night, my ex began sending me explicit images via text message. This development was entirely unexpected. My girlfriend was in close proximity to me when the messages began to appear, and I promptly reassured her that I had not requested them and that my ex-partner and I do not communicate in such a manner. I offered her my phone to examine the messages for herself. My girlfriend viewed the images and requested my ex-partner's contact details so that she could send her own explicit messages in return, merely to demonstrate the nature of the content. I then proceeded to contact my former partner and confront her about her actions. I made it clear to her that my girlfriend had seen the messages and was extremely angry. My former partner attempted to claim that she had intended to send them to someone else. My girlfriend then highlighted the fact that my name is at the beginning of the alphabet, while her current partner's name is at the end, which made the situation seem implausible. She even asked who the man was, since the photographs were purportedly intended for another individual, exasperated, and thus terminated the telephone conversation. I am uncertain as to the precise nature of the machinations my former partner is orchestrating in this entire situation, which is, to be frank, rather bewildering. I no longer reside in my previous apartment with my wife. I have taken up residence with my girlfriend, as even after I returned the keys to my former partner, she was still able to gain access to my son's keys and persist in causing damage. Furthermore, she does not have access to my new residence, and my children do not possess the requisite keys to gain entry. Consequently, I am obliged to provide an update. My former partner was unfaithful to me with the individual she subsequently departed from me for. It is therefore unsurprising that they have reconciled. She is now reliant on him, given that she has no other support network. Following the aforementioned incident, I have not been in communication with her, except for a few divorce-related matters. Documents and discussions pertaining to the children are also of interest. However, it is likely that this situation will not persist for long, as there is a high probability that my ex-partner will consume alcohol and subsequently send me another angry message, in which she will use offensive language. On the day in question, my band was scheduled to perform at a party organized by a friend. This is a long-standing tradition, and my ex-partner was previously invited to attend. However, she did not receive an invitation this time, yet still arrived at the event with her current partner, who is the same individual whom she left me for and with whom she has a child. I was extremely displeased to witness this, as I consider it to be an inappropriate and unwelcome intrusion into an adult social event. The sole event that I believe she was aware of was her intention to have me removed from the premises. Security personnel repeatedly informed her that she was not permitted to enter, but she persisted in her argument that the children wished to see their father perform. The situation rapidly deteriorated, necessitating the intervention of a friend, who gave her a limited time frame to remain before issuing a threat of police involvement. I subsequently learned that my former partner had attempted to instigate a conflict with my current girlfriend. However, my girlfriend effectively challenged her, asserting that my children were being used as pawns in the dispute. Many witnesses attested to this incident, informing me of it after my performance. Upon my return, the atmosphere had visibly relaxed, yet my former partner continued to glare at my current girlfriend. My girlfriend then informed my daughter that she has two fathers, me and her mother's boyfriend, who is actually her biological father. This declaration caused my ex-partner to feel humiliated, and she subsequently left the party. However, my son was reluctant to leave my side and wanted to stay with me. Her boyfriend located my girlfriend and inquired as to whether we could assume custody. She concurred, and we made arrangements with a friend to keep my son close to my girlfriend for the remainder of the event. We took him home the following day. When I dropped off my son, my ex deliberately avoided being present. Her boyfriend was also absent. He informed me that she wished to avoid a confrontation. He apologized and attempted to discuss her behavior, but I was disinclined to engage with him and left a brief update. Today marked the official end of our relationship. We participated in a Zoom call with the court, which lasted only 5 minutes. Neither of us contested the decision, and no requests were made by her. The paternity tests provided definitive proof. When asked if there was a chance to save the marriage, I replied in the negative. When asked if I wished to proceed with the divorce, I replied in the affirmative. Interestingly, despite enduring domestic issues, I was not asked about them. The proceedings concluded with the dissolution of our marriage. The subsequent phase is family court for custody, and the circumstances appear favorable. She promptly disseminated the information on Facebook just 5 minutes after the court proceedings concluded. I became aware of this through screenshots shared by a friend. The content of the message included a discussion about the challenges of divorce and the importance of setting a positive example for one's children. The author of the message made the mistake of tagging me. My friends challenged her for seeking attention on social media instead of focusing on the children. I am not in a position to comment on that aspect, given that I am sharing this information with strangers. However, I waited several hours and, given that I do not know you personally, I am comfortable sharing this information. The situation has now been resolved, but I am still processing my emotions. I am uncertain as to how I should feel. I simply feel empty. I finalized my divorce last month, so that is one hurdle cleared. Christmas was mostly good, except my ex lost her job and the person she cheated with cannot support them financially. She came to me for help with the children, but I found her request annoying because I was compelled to request assistance from my girlfriend just 3 days prior to Christmas. This necessitated hasty efforts to procure suitable gifts amidst the bustle of the holiday season, with the imminent risk of being subjected to criticism for extending a helping hand. I was driven by the desire to allow my children to witness the true nature of their mother and to refrain from offering her any assistance. I nearly succeeded in this endeavor but ultimately decided against it, as I was unwilling to jeopardize the joy of their Christmas celebrations. Consequently, I chose to extend a helping hand. On this occasion, I informed her that I would not be repeating the action. When she arrived to collect the gifts, she requested to enter the house to view the children's sleeping arrangements. I advised her that it was not an appropriate request, but she asserted that it was her right to do so. She attempted to circumvent me, but my girlfriend intervened and made it clear that she would never set foot in our house. My ex-partner acquiesced, but then my girlfriend's friend attempted to confront my ex-partner. It is as though my girlfriend has completely excluded my ex-partner from our lives. She attempts and fails, then complains to anyone who will listen about being excluded when the children are in terms of my ex-partner. I believe it is inappropriate for them to be involved in our lives. My girlfriend has made it clear that they have no place here. I accept that my approach may not be optimal, but I allow my girlfriend to take the lead in dealing with my ex. She is adept at identifying and challenging their manipulative tactics, which I find challenging. Subsequently, my former partner has ceased attempting to engage in any manipulative behavior. I have enrolled my children in therapy as their behavior has deteriorated. We have installed a camera in the living room, which has captured my daughter lying on numerous occasions, including instances of physical abuse and false accusations. We have confronted her about these incidents. Furthermore, she is beginning to understand that her deceptions are no longer effective. My son is experiencing frustration with the slow progress in court and struggling with the inability to reside with me on a full-time basis. However, he has formed a strong bond with my girlfriend, so I am not concerned about his well-being. They actually get along well, which is a positive development. It is, however, a cause for concern that my son is exhibiting disruptive behavior at his mother's residence, including verbal outbursts, physical aggression, and engaging in disputes. I am aware that he is seeking an alternative living arrangement and am taking steps to facilitate this. I am optimistic that this will eventually occur. Additionally, I am facing a new challenge with my girlfriend's former partner. The boyfriend has initiated contact with her without any apparent reason. It is notable that another former partner has also made contact. My girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, who is also my bandmate and introduced us, informed me that he had become enraged when he discovered from another former partner that she was happy and had moved on. He felt that he needed to move on too and reacted by crashing his car into a guardrail in an attempt to end his life. The recent events in my life have been so chaotic that I am unsure whether to laugh, cry or sell tickets. This is the current situation. It has been over 2 years since the divorce was finalized 4 months ago, yet she remains in a relationship with her extramarital partner. I, however, moved on a year ago. Overall, my life is much better without her, even after all this time. I have discovered new information, including that she had an affair with another friend of mine before her current partner. This information has caused me some pain, as it has prolonged the period of time I was deceived and I missed the signs twice. As a result, I am questioning if the child in question is his. There is no resemblance whatsoever. Neither his features nor hers match his or mine, respectively. As much as I am curious, I am unsure if I truly want to know the truth. I am concerned that I may not be able to handle another devastating blow. In my opinion, ignorance can sometimes be bliss. I do my best to leave her in the past as much as possible, but it is challenging when children are involved because I am stuck co-parenting. The responsibility of parenting extends until the age of 18. I attempted to maintain a civil relationship without becoming emotionally detached, with the hope of working together for the sake of the children. It is noteworthy that those who should feel guilty are consistently on the offensive, attempting to shift blame. Even after everything has been said and done, it is even more intriguing how she believed she could still control me and be in charge, despite my refusal to yield. She resorted to lashing out and attempting to use her tactics on my girlfriend. However, in the end, she learned to steer clear of her. My girlfriend is strong. She has demonstrated resilience and has previously managed interactions with individuals who employ manipulative tactics. Ultimately, I have emerged from this experience with a sense of triumph. I have the opportunity to begin anew with a new position, a new residence, and a new romantic interest in my life. My circumstances are much more favorable than those of my former partner, who is now facing the consequences of her actions. Not only has she negatively impacted our shared life, but she has also caused significant difficulties for her extramarital partner and his former partner. The wife is going to great lengths to make their lives miserable. The unfortunate situation has a detrimental impact on my children, who are forced to endure a significant disruption in their lives. The AP's wife is a prime example of someone who is consumed by rage and seeking retribution. She has inflicted significant financial hardship on my ex, who has reached out to me on multiple occasions to express his struggles. It is worth noting that she lost her job half a year ago. Furthermore, she has been unable to secure gainful employment. Consequently, she has been forced to rely on her AP, who is experiencing financial difficulties of his own due to the ongoing litigation with his former partner. I do not sympathize with her situation in the slightest. My primary concern is the impact it is having on my children. I provide for them to the best of my abilities, but I will not provide her with direct financial assistance. I will, however, ensure that they have the resources they require. I will not allow her to squander my money on alcohol, given her proclivity for such behavior. One of the reasons for her dismissal was my decision to remove my children from her care. My son harbors a strong resentment towards her, and it was she who informed him of the reasons for our divorce. He is aware that his sister is the result of an extramarital relationship, and he makes sure that everyone is aware of it. He even informed my girlfriend before I had the chance to do so. I was attempting to avoid burdening my girlfriend with all of my problems, given that I was recently the father, is divorced and has a lot of emotional baggage. His son is angry, while his daughter takes after her mother. She lies, manipulates, and employs the same tactics. When things don't go her way, she reacts in the same way. It is unfortunate that he had to resort to installing cameras, but he did it. It gives him peace of mind knowing that his ex it is not possible to engage in any form of deceitful behavior towards me. Furthermore, the presence of the cameras provides a considerable degree of reassurance when I am at work and my girlfriend is at home alone. I am able to easily ascertain what she is doing at any given moment, whether she is reading a book, watching a film, or playing video games online with my son or her younger brother, who is the same age. The cameras have helped me to overcome my trust issues.